YouTube, and I will be sharing it to you so that it will be useful for all the people who are planning to change their career. And I will also be showing I will show a roadmap to follow the step by steps, like what I have done. So you can follow that. It's not necessary that you have to exactly follow the same thing, but that's what I followed, and I hope that will be useful for you guys. Okay. And I would just want to put a disclaimer that this is not for marketing any institute like that. So just wanted to have a session. So that's the reason I have planned this one. So welcome all. So I would like to give a brief introduction about myself. This is not for showing my achievements or something. This I just want to tell you that I am from a non-technical background, so this will be a good motivation for you guys if you have not done anything technically, or if you have not done something, any certifications or any courses previously. That's totally fine, because DevOps is all about learning new things, and if you have that interest to learn, you can have a good career in DevOps. So I started my career 6.5 years back as a support engineer. There, what I did was, usually I used to get some tickets. We usually just put it in progress and just right click, restart some services, and the issue will be solved, and we'll be closing that tickets. So those kind of jobs where I had more time, that kind of role I started. Around 3 to 4 years, I actually did nothing technically more than these kind of things. So then I got a chance to learn AWS. So at the time I learned AWS, it was because like I actually, my on-site coordinator gave a chance, and he gave his credentials, and those things happened, and I learned AWS. Then I tried many jobs only with AWS. Then I didn't get anywhere. Then what I did, I came to know about DevOps, because in my next company, there was one guy who used to work as a DevOps engineer, and he used to tell me like, I'm getting 86,000 per month but I don't do any work. So those things were like interesting to know. Like he was telling more about DevOps. So at that time, with his guidance, I started learning DevOps. Then I just learned through YouTube and documents, but still I was not able to like get any job or something with DevOps. Then what I did was, I finally joined an institute. There they trained me and got an internal movement. Just I mentioned these DevOps tools I know, and then where there only I came to know that there is a lot of like opportunities for DevOps. But people are looking out for those skills very much. They didn't actually interview me also in that internal moment. Just I mentioned those skills and they took me. Then after working some months, I moved to another company, and currently I'm working as a DevOps engineer for infrastructure side, in developing the infrastructure. So this is about me. And now let's see who is a DevOps engineer actually. What roles he will be doing. So currently, what I am doing as a DevOps engineer is, my role is to like remove a support kind of person. So previously I said, right, I will be putting a ticket in progress, or restarting some services and closing that. So that kind of things I'm automating through Ansible tool. There is a DevOps tool which is widely used, Ansible tool. In the next slides, I will tell about the important tools which are required for DevOps. So here what I do is, using this tool, I this tool will automatically put the ticket in progress. It will restart the service. It will close the ticket. So just think, for a morning shift person, second shift person, night shift person, I'm reducing three people out there. So automatically what happens, this is a great saving for the client. So wherever there is a DevOps, that is automation only, reducing the manual work. So client automatically loves that, and he will be like, even if we do something small, they will think like it's a magic, because they don't know what is behind the scene. Everything tool will do, we have to just follow some things that we learned. So it will be like a magic for them, so they will be automatically praising us. And since approximately 3 to 4 people are reduced with these kind of automations, so if even if you get the two people salary, you are automatically paid more. So client is also uh, having lot of savings, and you also get paid more. And everything is automation. Reducing those kind of manual things, we as a DevOps engineer, you will be doing lot of automations. And note syntax. What I mean by no syntax is, it is not that you have to do only with this tool, only with that tool. It's not like that. So everything is, since open source, you can do in your own way. If you are good at Ansible, you can use the Ansible playbooks and do it. Or if you are good in Terraform, you can use that tool. No one is going to question you why you are using that, why you are using this. The client will say, I need this to be automated. Then it's your which you can do it with, even with the PowerShell script or shell script, you can do that automation, and only the end product they will be looking for. And the error fixing part is like, even if you are stuck up anywhere, you no need to worry, like you no need to depend on any people in the team or someone, some the senior TLs like that. You can just put it in the Google, since it's open source, all the tools are used already wide worldwide, everybody is using. So you will, even if it is a silly issue or something like that, you can, there will be lot of conversations in the GitHub pages, there will be lot of in the Stack Overflow, lot of solutions, suggestions, everything will be there. So it's like you have to understand that thing and you have to put it in your project what you are doing. So it's like a more of a good, DevOps engineer is like a cool job if you are, if you understand the basics of the tool and if you know how to handle the tool. So this is a slogan I would like to point, like learning and working and learning. Even if you are on-site coordinator, even if you are a great person, this will suit for everybody. Even if you start your career in the thing, it's like learning. You have to, you can learn and work, and it's working and learning. So this is what about the DevOps one. And wherever there is a DevOps, there is agile culture. So in the agile culture, we have a lot of I see a lot of benefits. Like I feel like I'm in a very, how to say, like a heaven kind of place, because here you don't have any strict TL or boss. Like in the legacy applications, there will be TLs who will be like, when they are busy, they won't be asking you anything. And when they become free, they will suddenly question you, what are you doing? What you do? Why you didn't do that? Because the thing is, they are more than 10 plus years of experience in the same application. So everything we have to depend on that same person. So agile culture for development, Java development or .NET development will also be, I think it's different. But for DevOps side, it's, there is no dependency on the people like that. Even the senior people will be very humble if you know the things. See, yesterday there was version 2.4, today version 2.5. Tomorrow, in the open source tools, the version will be upgrading. If you know the updated version, then you are the boss. They will be like, they will ask to you. If you give any suggestions, they will be ready to take it. So that kind of nature will be for DevOps in the agile practice. And the transparency with the client, they will be, whatever work you do, even if a small piece of work if you do, it will be visible to them, because they will be joining all the calls. And tickets will be in the Jira board. If you it's like, you no assigning tasks. That's what I tell in the Jira. It's not like the TL will assign the task. They will put all the tickets, all the, what are all the things that should be achieved, they will put it as a ticket in the Jira board, and you can pick of your choice. If you are good in Jenkins, you can pick the ticket. If you like to learn Ansible, you can pick that ticket. So everything will be split up, and you can pick your own ticket and you can assign. So you automatically, you will love the job, because you are taking the tickets only you like. So and also, if you close the ticket, the client will be knowing, like you, and under your name the ticket will be closed. So it's, there is a 100% transparency. And it's not like the TL or boss will take the credit, and if you do the work, it's nothing like that. And the stand up calls are very useful in agile. Like every day you will be having the stand up call. If you are stuck up somewhere, since the client is also there, if you tell I'm stuck up here, one person will be ready to put up his hand, hey, I will help you, because the client will know. So he will automatically be ready to help you, and eventually your issue also will be solved. So in this stand up calls, there will be like a lot of people, and if you put up the issue, they will be ready to help you. And the main thing, no time waste with the process or documentation. In When I was a .NET developer, there even for a small piece of change of code, there will be lot of places where I have to document things. But here there is nothing like that. Everything is straightforward. Whatever you do, you get the appreciation, recognition. You no need to document unnecessarily. It's very, like it's very straightforward. And I came across these lines, so I wanted you to tell these steps. So how to follow, become a successful, like how to get into the DevOps career. First thing, you have to learn some cloud. It's like ABCD in the DevOps world. So learning a cloud is very important. So you should have a cloud knowledge, so only then you can frame words with that thing. So AWS is like English language, Azure is like French, Google Cloud is Japanese. So what I would suggest is, you can everywhere they take examples of AWS, so it's good to start with AWS. So if you start with AWS, if they are teaching Ansible, they will take the example of AWS. So it will be better if you start with AWS, and other clouds are very similar. If you learn AWS, all the concepts will be same in Azure and GCP. Here they call it with a different name. The Microsoft product they call the VM virtual machines as just a VM, but in AWS they call it as EC2. Otherwise the concepts are everything are same. The domain name system they call it with a different name. Here they call it with a different name. Because first I learned only AWS. I was put into Azure project. There I was like I didn't know anything, but when things were moving, I found that all the naming conventions or namings only were changing. Other than that, concepts are same. So in the first, I have put a link here. So this is Cloud Guru, around 18 hours of video. You can just simply follow this one. So it's like no need to know deep knowledge. You no need to have understand everything, and also not a basic knowledge. You have to have some good knowledge on that, like what are all the services, what they do, how the cloud is, what is the difference between on-premise and cloud environment, those kind of things, and what are all the services and those things offered in AWS. Those things you have to know. So it's good to start with this course. um, I'll, you can take this later. Once I upload the video, maybe you can take, or you can search this in the Udemy, you will get this course. And the DevOps tools, coming into DevOps tools, so this is the important part. You have to know what are all the tools that are important. So these bottom things, these are mandatory tools that you have to know. Every DevOps engineer has to know at least like what are all the tools and what it does. The main thing is you can't tell these things as like you have a skill set. You can't tell I know to push in a Git repo, I know to pull from a Git repo, because it's like using a notepad in your workstation. It's like Git is something which is mandatory. So you have to know these things. List basics how to push into your repo. GitHub is the repository and Git is the tool that we will be using to push and pull those things. And Maven is for building, and Splunk, App Dynamics, any one of the tools you can know. To know more about these tools, you have to take out of your own interest. You have to learn those things, and I'm just pointing like what are the important tools. This is the Artifactory and any one of the cloud. And important part is scripting. You should know at least something with the scripting, because when I faced the interviews earlier, I didn't know anything about the scripting. But still now I don't have much knowledge on scripting. But when you go into the project, you will be automatically learning that. But you should know at least any one of these scripting. Bin bash is for shell scripting. PowerShell or Python is not widely, like Python is having great value, but in the projects that I have seen, they usually use like these Ansible tools, Terraform tools, and less Python. They usually go with shell scripting or PowerShell scripting. So I would tell you to know these any one of the scripting languages, at least some things, so that after you go inside you can manage. So these things are mandatory. Okay, I see a question. I'm passing. Um, Now I open a questionnaire session. If you have any questions, you can speak up or ask me.
So can I ask it now, or do we have a session exclusively for questionnaire?
Yeah, you can ask it now. Who is this? Is Sumit, right?
Right. Yeah. So going back to the previous slide where you mentioned you at least need to start with some cloud technologies. It could be Azure, GCP, or AWS.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, so the basic understanding from that is you need to at least know the services that AWS provides. You know what is Route 53. You have VPC peering. You have kinds of EC2 instances like
yeah.
micro, nano, large, medium. So
Mm,
what more to that is the question that I would have. That would be one question. And second question is the certification part.
mm,
How do you rate certification in terms of getting more knowledge? I understand these days you pay money, you can get certified in any technologies as long as you have contacts and money. So how do you suggest for a beginner like me? I'm still at a very scratch level in AWS. I just know few services that AWS provides, but again, what beyond that services? Now, since I've not worked in AWS, I can think of implementing some kind of cloud solution, maybe migration of an on-prem to cloud. So that kind of exposure, where would I get that from? Do we have any labs for that, or is certification good enough to cover me that part?
Yeah, yeah, Sumit. To answer your first question, so whatever you have listed like EC2, so that is pretty much enough. If you know those services in AWS, that will be very much enough. Or else if you are having more and more towards AWS, all the service, if you know, you will become as a cloud administrator. That is a different line. So whatever you have pointed out, like because in everywhere in the DevOps, they automate, they take on EC2 instance, do things, and destroy the EC2 instance. So if you know EC2, those things like what are all the mediums sizes of the instance and those concepts, that will be pretty much enough. And coming to your second question, the certifications what I will tell is that are that is very like certifications are of no use. So if you want to learn things, then certification is of no use. If you are working already in something, then you want to prove your knowledge, you can do the certification. If you want to learn some hands-on, or if you want to know it with a lab, I would say any institute, you have to join any institute, because they will bridge the gap. That's the mistake I did, like I was not able to get a job after learning myself, so they will be bridging the gap. I will share you my the institute that I studied. If you want, you can have a chat with them, or you can attend some demo classes. So that is where they will bridge you. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that will be helpful if you can share. But
Yeah,
again,
yeah,
if
sure.
I really want to go about by myself, do you have any online labs that can help me?
Yeah, to
Anything
be
that is
honest,
in the market?
that is
Do
not
you think?
like that's what I will come into the next slides for your question. That one I have in my slide. I will tell you, and in the end, I will open up again a questionnaire session.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Yeah, sure. So coming into this, so these mandatory tools you have to know, and to get a good pay or to label yourself as a DevOps engineer, you have to mandatory know these Jenkins and Ansible. So these are the core services of DevOps. So Jenkins, everything they will be using, they will be doing some pipeline activities and those things, everything with Jenkins. And Ansible playbooks they will be writing for automating things. So Ansible is one that has overtaken all the things like Chef, Puppet. Those were the previous tools that were used in the market. Now Ansible is the leading one. And as a developer, if you write a playbook with Ansible, you will really love to do it, because there is no syntax like .NET or Java. It will be like very pleasant to do write some playbooks with Ansible. Whatever you do, it will be very straightforward. In the back end, they have done a lot of work. You will be just using those modules, and you will be writing those playbooks. So it will be like very clean and lovable to do work with Ansible. And the next step is to get a high package. You have to have knowledge on Docker is also, you have to have some basic knowledge before with these things. And if you have some deep knowledge with Docker and Terraform is for infrastructure tool. So if you have good knowledge with these tools, then surely you will be a very like in the total development side of the DevOps, and you will have a good future. And to expect a very high package, Kubernetes is a tool that is leading now for orchestrating Docker. They are using Kubernetes, and if you have a good knowledge on that, then that's a great advantage. Everywhere they will be asking this Kubernetes. But if you have the good knowledge on these DevOps core services or tools, then you are good. Moving to step two, like once you so these tools I would recommend, first thing is learning a cloud. And the second step is using the free learning, using YouTube like Edureka. There is a lot of videos like what is a CI/CD and those basic concepts, and about the tools also they have a lot of videos in Edureka YouTube playlist. And there are a lot of documents, you can search and learn those things. And the second step will be like free learning. What I would tell is you have to set a target of 6 months. Like first 3 months you have to learn a cloud, and the next 1 month you have to do some free learning. And once you do all these things, the step three is you have to join any institute. See, without joining any institute or paying money, you can't it's very difficult. That's what I really faced, because I learned lot. I thought, okay, YouTube, everything I learned, YouTube videos, lot of videos I saw. and I was trying, but I was failing only because there was some gap that the hands-on part was missing, like whatever things I have to practice was missing. So when I joined an institute, I two times inquired them and left. But later I joined, then there were like lot of assignments they give. So the assignments that they give is like the real-time interview questions that you will be getting. So that's where I institute I joined. I will share the contact later. So first thing is, don't join blindly. Without the first step one and step two, you should not straightforward. Without knowing anything, you should not join. They will take care. It's not like that. You have to put some effort, and you have to, before joining the institute, you have to do some things so that they will elevate you. They will go some advanced topics and they will elevate you. And the hands-on is must, is like they will in the institute they will be teaching you the hands-on sessions and those things. And they will groom you for interviews. And the last thing is important, don't think it as spending. It's a really an investment. I just spent 12K on the institute. Now I after those things I got around 70% of hike, and it was totally changed. My career was changed totally. So but if you join without knowing anything, it's like a waste of money only. So just a second. Okay, so that's what. So it's not, don't consider as a spending. It's an investment. The DevOps job categories. Just a second. I will pause for one second. Mute for one minute. Okay. Now coming into the DevOps job categories. Okay. So this I would on my personal experience have categorized these things. Like so if you're this is 1 to 2 years of experience is not the overall IT experience. If you mention your DevOps experience as 1 to 2 years, and you tell the interviewer that you know Jenkins and some of the all the mandatory tools that I mentioned in the previous slides. If you tell them, they will consider you that you have only limited knowledge, and they will put you in some support kind of role. It's a 24/7 kind of support role, or they will ask you to monitor the monitoring tools. Those kind of things only they will be giving. The limited experience on what to say, limited exposure you will be having. Salary package I would rate as around 6 to 9 LPA you will get based on your total years of experience. And if you tell yourself as 3 to 4 years of experience, and you tell I know Ansible and Jenkins very good, so then they will put you in development and support project. There where you can do some Ansible playbook developments or Jenkins pipeline creation development activities, and also with the support kind of role. That would be around 9 to 14. Also, all these packages depends on your total IT experience. And what I would strongly recommend is this line: 3 to 4 years with Terraform, Ansible, and Jenkins. So when you label yourself as you know Terraform, Ansible, and Jenkins, surely they will put you in a DevOps development kind of role for a DevOps engineer, and the package will also be very good. This is a decent role where you can like explore more, and you can have a lot of knowledge, learning, and knowledge, getting knowledge. Those kind of things you will be having. Since you know Terraform and Ansible, they will consider you as a like developer with good experience. So what I would tell is, instead of learning something and attending interviews immediately, I would recommend learn all these things till at least till Terraform. Kubernetes is also a step bit advanced. So but till Terraform, Ansible, Jenkins, and mandatory tools, so you can learn these things waiting at least give a time of 6 months and learn those things. 2 months you can spend for an institute, first 3 months for a cloud, 1 month for self learning, and last 2 months for a institute. Then you can see yourself as like a good in knowledge in all the DevOps tools. Then I would suggest you for this one. And the next one, 5 to 6 years, is like you know everything: Terraform, Ansible, Jenkins, Kubernetes, Docker. They will put you as a senior DevOps engineer. Like if you tell 6 plus of years in experience, that is bit a hectic role where you will be like on-site coordinator. You will be having interaction with the clients, getting the requirements, and there will be people under you. You have to manage those peoples, but your package will be like great. This around 18 to 20. If you are in India, if you are in on-site, then it will be different. So I have categorized like this based on my personal experience. So this is the greens technology where I studied. Really, this is the changed my life career totally. This institute, they showed lot of hands-on sessions and lot of assignments they gave. Karthik Raja is the person who is handling this, who is handling all kind of cloud things. This is his contact number, and this is the website link. Maybe I will at the end I will put this in chat. And also personally, you can reach me at this LinkedIn if you want to get this video. This video will be under Bharat Tamilan. If you search in YouTube Bharat Tamilan, there I will be uploading this recorded session. There you can get it. Or if you want, if you are stuck up with any tool, or if you want to know how to learn that or this anything, you can reach me in this LinkedIn. All this I will put it in chat in few minutes. So that's it. Thank you guys, and good luck DevOps engineers. You can label yourself as a DevOps engineer once you do all these things, if you follow these things. So all the best. So I will open a questionnaire session. Yeah, you can ask if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay, I think you guys don't have any questions.
So, Bharat,
Yeah,
will you be taking any more sessions, or this is just an introduction that you would be taking on?
I just planned for this one
I
like
I
to,
was probably,
yeah,
okay.
I just planned this only
I
one
was
session.
probably in the impression that, okay,
Yeah, just like I just planned only this
okay,
guidance session.
okay.
Yeah, okay. I don't see any questions. Okay, then thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Bye everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, Bharat, I think I have one question.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
Um, Hello.
Yeah,
So, when you talk about DevOps, right? There are two aspects. When I read through a few things, I get to understand there's a two path. One is majorly for infrastructure and one for application. Would you have an insight on how they are different and what should be one's approach? Or if
yeah,
it
as
is the
a
same, that is, we just call DevOps. There is an application specific DevOps and there's an infra specific DevOps,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
correct?
So in application specific DevOps, you will be more concentrating on the Jenkins pipeline, how the once a developer pushes the code into the GitHub, from there on, how to take those things to the final destination, like putting it into the Tomcat server or Apache server. Those things you will be concentrating if you are in the application side. If you are in an infra side, you will be building out the infrastructure. You will be taking the AWS cloud, or you will be taking the Azure cloud, and there you will be
I
automating
can't
things.
hear you, Bharat.
You can't hear me? Is it only now, or can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You mentioned about your yes, I can. You mentioned about the last mentioned about handling pipelines,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
once the
yeah.
code is pushed to Git,
Hmm.
that's the last thing that I heard. I don't.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. So when you come to the application side, let's like if you from pushing the code into the GitHub, and the once when the developer does that, so after that packaging it and putting in a Tomcat server or Apache server, you will be as application side. If you are in DevOps line, you will be automating those things, how to package the code, how to push it in the server, Apache or Tomcat server. Those things you will be concentrating. But if you are into infrastructure side, you will be building out the platform for the developers. You will be creating multiple environments. That's what we did like in the previous projects. Like we created one environment for developer and the same environment for tester, same environment for non-functional testing, and some slightly bit different environment for production. We will be automating those steps. Like instead of creating a virtual machine, instead of creating a DNS, everything once again and again and again, That's where the Terraform comes into picture. If you are an infrastructure developer, use Ansible and Terraform. And if you are an application side developer, use Jenkins and Ansible. Hope you gotten some idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the difference. There is two parts as you said, yeah, infrastructure side and application side.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, anybody else, any questions? Okay, guys, thank you for joining. That's it. I'll put this video and you can, if you want, you can search it in YouTube. Thanks everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Bharat.
Okay, bye.